financing your next billion. Gain insights into successful engagements with venture capitalists and investors. Get ahead of industry trends, hear from industry leaders, influencers, founders, policymakers, and governments. Stay in the know on how to finance your next billion.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to FYMB Talks. I'm Yvonne Gamble, and I'm here with my co-host Jerome Curry, and today we're going to be talking about invest in money management. We're going to jump right into the topic here, and Jerome's going to take it away and start telling us about life insurance trust. So Jerome, what can you tell us in money management? What does a life insurance trust do?
Sure, absolutely. And just to let you know, a life insurance trust is irrevocable. So just note that if you do have questions about trust, go back to the first episode and certainly get some of the terminology down there, and that's really going to help you. This life insurance trust, it helps to take the tax out of life insurance. It is both owner and beneficiary of one or more of the life insurance policies. This type of trust is a common estate tax reduction tool. So this tool helps you to, again, reduce taxes. And that's what this entire lesson and this is what this entire talk is about, helping you to reduce your tax liability. And this is important. And although our life insurance isn't subject to federal income taxes, the IRS includes it. And this is something that a lot of people don't know, that the IRS actually includes it as an estate taxable asset. So what does that mean? Well, that means that, as Yvonne was mentioning in the earlier conversation about the tax exemption that you have up to that $5 million, if you have a life insurance policy, that could be included inside of that that tax count. So again, what you want to do, certainly get with that estate tax planner. A life insurance trust, though, it takes the insurance out of the taxable estate and it gives the heirs a tax-free source of funding to pay other estate taxes or to buy a business interest as a part of your succession plan. So when taking a look at this life insurance trust, it helps you to be able to have that tax-free source of funding to pay other estate taxes. Or this could also assist you in being able, let's say if the business, as we mentioned earlier, is asset rich but cash poor. Well, you can utilize this life insurance trust to be able to pay a portion of the business or buy a portion or interest in the business as a part of a succession plan. Well, here's something else that a lot of times we don't get a chance to talk about. What if your business, part of the business is owned by another entity or by another business partner? Well, things can get a little complicated if there's not a succession plan in place, especially when it comes to how you're going to be able to acquire that business. If as an heir, you still want a part of the business. And sometimes there could be associated estate tax costs. And again, what you don't want to happen is that you lose the estate or lose the business because of the taxes or the costs associated with that business. So how do you avoid that? Well, one of the ways could be that life insurance trust. So here's some other things that will be able to help you. Let's say, for an example, Jason owns a $10 million business that he expects to pass on to a successor. His daughter, Nicole, Jason has two big problems if he is to fulfill his dream. First, he has to have plenty of non-liquid. First, he has plenty of business. So he has a lot of business assets, but he has little cash. And his estate will eventually need the cash to meet estate taxes. So that the tax man is coming. So he's coming down the hill. The federal estate tax exemption is capped at slightly over $5 million per individual. So Jason's estate would have to pay taxes beginning at 40% of 40% of anything over that 5 million. So wow, that's a lot of money that's a lot of money that Nicole would have to pay. So here's the second problem that Jason has. He also has a son who he wants to inherit an amount equal to the value of the business that Nicole gets. So what could Jason potentially do? Well, since Jason doesn't have a lot of the money in place, he can set up a life insurance trust that will pay a certain portion of the business for his son and also assist his daughter Nicole in being able to have her portion as well. So Jason creates and transfers the existing life insurance policy on his life to the trust. He can then also give cash to the trust to buy additional life insurance on his life. This helps him to be able to meet both of those guidelines. Now, one of the things that I'll tell you, and again, in putting this plan together, it can be very complicated. So again, talk to your estate tax attorney and allow them to be able to help you in navigating how to be able to do this effectively. Yvonne, any thoughts or any questions or anything that came to mind as I was going through that example?
I love that example. I have to say this, I really love that example. And that really kind of, it made it clearer, as to what was happening and, just the option that Jason had, to bring that life insurance into the trust to make that payment, because you're absolutely right. If you have to pay, 40% of, any estate, that can just knock you right out. And that's why a lot of people end up having estate sales, believe it or not, because they have to sell off those assets to pay, those taxes. Because when those taxes do come due, literally at the point of death, as soon as the point of death is in, so they don't come due the next year when you file your income taxes, they come due at the point of death. So that's when that's expected to be satisfied, with the IRS. So you have to keep that in mind. A lot of people think, oh, I don't have to pay anything, until I get ready to file the taxes the next year, or maybe I can get an extension on the taxes or what have you. No, estate taxes are paid at the point of death for that estate. And so, keep that in mind. With that, and like Jerome said, your best friend in all of this, your best asset in all of this is going to be an estate attorney, an accountant, and a trust advisor are going to be your best in this, because each scenario, he gave you a very good scenario there, but each scenario is going to be different. Go into, and I'm going to be talking about charitable trust. And if you really want to be real nice about what you do, with your assets, with your estate, at the end, and you want to give that to a charity, that's a very good thing to do. But there's a way, obviously, in which to do it. And many business owners do want to leave some of their assets to charity. And to make the most of their gifts, you can use one of two types of irrevocable charitable trusts. And you can either put the assets in a charitable remainder trust, which is income comes in over a fixed period of time to a person who is named in the trust, and then the remainder of that trust goes to a charity upon the death of the person that who created the trust. So you can set up that, or you can do what they call a charitable lead trust. Now that does just the opposite. So the trust creator denotes the trust income to the charity while they are alive, and the heirs who get the remainder after the trust terminates. and both of them do help you lower your taxes. So you want to, you want to understand what these do and how they do it, and then that way, when you're going in and you're talking with your accountant or your trust attorney or estate planner, you can then actually be saying, well, this is what I would like to do. So let's look a little bit more detailed into what each one does. That charitable lead trust, you transfer your business shares, money from the sale of your business or other assets into your trust. You name a charity to receive the income from the trust for a specified period of time. You or another beneficiary named receives the remainder when it's left in the trust when the trust term expires. So that would be a charitable lead trust. A charitable remainder trust is you take the charitable lead trust and literally turn it on its head, and what you have is a charitable remainder trust. And what that means is the instrument gives you or someone else the beneficiary of income, and then the nonprofit group or the charity named in the trust receives the remainder when the trust ends. So in the charity remainder trust, you're basically saying, I'm going to give the remainder of this trust to a charity. Whereas the lead trust, you lead off, you have the money coming to you while you are alive for a period of time, and then the remainder goes to the when it expires, that you or another beneficiary receives the remainder. Your charity, the lead trust, the charity is the lead. They get the money up front, and then you get what's left over in the trust. So it depends on what your goals are. It depends on, what you're trying to do, what your favorite charity is, and how you're trying to help that particular charity. Many times people use one or both of these different instruments when they're trying to help a particular effort of some kind. There's something that's going on that they feel very strongly about. They'll set up, take some business assets, some money, and put it into a trust, a lead trust, and that way the charity can benefit from that right now as it's going on. A lot of people are doing that with some of the different food services, and they're giving money to a lot of the different food banks and food pantries to help them out in this effort, that we're seeing right now, with the coronavirus. So a lot of people are doing the lead trust style. And then the remainder trust style, basically, that just says that someone else is the beneficiary, and then those groups will get the money that's left over, after that trust terminates. So again, the type of trust that you want to go into with all the different trusts, you want to seek the help of a qualified estate planner, a qualified attorney, an accountant, and that way you can even go out to charitynavigator.org, and the Federal Trade Commission can help you. Also has some very good information about that. Those are places to go and just get some information to kind of really educate yourself on this. Trust, how trust is set up, what you might use a trust for is educate, educate, educate. We can't say that enough. We can't say that anymore, because the more that you're educated and the more that you understand what the purpose of a trust is and what your purpose of a trust is, the better you're going to be with your tax liability, with who's going to do what, and you want to make certain that your estate is planned for when you're trying to build generational wealth. And otherwise that you will not succeed in that generational wealth building, because generational wealth means exactly that. And that means that wealth is carried on from generation to generation. So you are the purveyor of that. You have to make certain that you have the terms and conditions in place to move that wealth from one generation to the next generation. Did you have anything you wanted to, any parting words that you want to?
This is very forward-thinking information, Yvonne. Ladies and gentlemen, audience, you cannot get the quality of this information just anywhere. And I really want you to take advantage of it. Build these things in place. This is forward-thinking information from people that have been through it and understand these different processes and can really help you in financing your next billion. I'm Jerome Curry, and this is Yvonne Gamble. You have a fantastic week.
Financing your next $1 billion? Contact us to be a guest. Join us for the next show.